Well, hi. Welcome to this edition of Mrs. Bella's Messy Desk. What the heck am I playing with? Well, this is what we're going to be making today. It's a really neat secondary color spinner. You can see there's a little orange, a little green, and there's a little purple, but when it stops, it doesn't look like this, does it? You're going to kind of see it. So I'll stop it and pull it off my fingers. It looks like this. Isn't that neat? So this works because you've got rings of primary colors, combinations, and as they spin, your eyeballs are tricked into thinking that they're actually mixing together. And so you see the secondary colors. So this outer ring, which is yellow and red, turns to orange. The middle ring, which is blue and yellow, turns to green. And then the ring on the inside is a purple ring. There's some stuff on the very middle that I thought was going to turn to brown, but you don't have to do that part. It's not working very well. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys how to make this. But we need to know what we need first of all. So go gather your stuff and then we'll start. So your stuff, this is what you need. You need a piece of cardboard, cardstock. I used a recycled pizza box. It's white on one side, which is really nice. If you can't find a white one, then use a really lightly colored one. And if not, you can use a piece of paper and then glue it to a piece of cardstock. Whatever, it works. But you want a white something heavy. You also need a straight edge of some kind. I have a triangle. You could use a ruler. You could use another piece of cardstock, anything that's super straight that you could trace with. Pencil, a glue stick, a pair of scissors, a big old long string that's like that long. And you will also need something circular to trace. I use my vitamins. It's a big old bottle. You can kind of see it's about as big as my hand. So something like that. A CD would work. The bottom of a bowl if it's not too big. Something that you can trace to make a circle with. Colored pencils or markers or crayons or anything you can use to color with. And then if your scissors are not like mine are super sharp, but if yours are not sharp, you will also need a thumbtack or a nail or a pushpin or something to poke holes with. So go get all that stuff and come back to me in a minute. It's going to trace, and it's not going to be perfect. I'm going to trace around my circle thing. And I'll do a couple of them. Yeah, it's not perfect, but that's okay. Okay, so depending on what type of spinner you want to make, now that you've got your circles drawn, if you want to make a color changing spinner, you're going to have to divide, let's say this one, up into a couple of different regions. So I'm going to divide this circle right here up into I'm going to do 8 different regions. So I'm going to draw a line through the middle, eyeball, drawing it through the middle the other way, perpendicular. And then I'm going to eyeball cutting these in half, just to give me some kind of guidelines. Here's where it gets super fun. You're gonna have to eyeball the rest of it. So you can go find other circular things like the top. I might use maybe a glue bottle, and I might try to trace it again in the middle. What we're going to come up with is concentric circles, and you're going to have to do them the best way you can. You can either freehand it and just pretend, or you can use another template, and I'm thinking that's kind of looks like the middle, and so I'm going to find some bigger and smaller sized circular objects to trace around to get my concentric circles. There's one. Now that I've got one, I might can freehand the other one. Let's see, let's try it. I'm going to freehand. Let's make it a little sketchy. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just playing. Okay, that's kind of free-handed. It's a little lumpy on the bottom. Okay, maybe I might draw, maybe I'll draw one more here in the middle. I would suggest 1, 2, 3, 4 different rings. All right, now go grab your colored pencils or markers or crayons, and we'll get started with the next part. Okay, I've got these woodless colored pencils that I'm going to play with. The idea is you're going to make each ring, these outer 3 rings, a combination of primary colors. Well, what are the primary colors? Red. I'm going to use this blue and this yellow. And really, you choose any red, yellow, and blue. It doesn't really matter. It'll just make the colors look different when they mix. So for the outer ring, I'm going to make it, I hope to make the secondary color I'm choosing orange. So what 2 colors make orange? That's red and yellow. So what I'm going to do is color every other section one of the primary colors that makes orange, which in this case are yellow and red. And then I'm going to color the other sections red. And that's what I'm going to do for this layer. So we're going to speed it up, watch me color, and you can pause it if you want, and then come join me when you're finished. And you don't have to choose orange for the outer. You can choose any of the secondary colors, but if you want to follow along with me, this is where we're going. Okay, here we go. Okay, we are all done with the first row. So the next row, choose a different secondary color. We're going to make orange here. So I might want to make purple or green the next one. Let's try green because, yeah, that's what I chose. So now I'm going to pick the colors that make green, which are blue and yellow. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the yellow in different spots just because I feel like it. I don't think it really makes a difference, but when it's not being spun, it'll look neat. So I'm going to do the same thing. Every other one is going to be blue. And then the others are going to be yellow. All right, so go ahead and color them. All right, all done. And then the last one, I'm going to combine the red and the blue to make purple, and I'm going to do the same, follow the same rule. I'm going to put the blue in this section and the red in the other. So go ahead and finish coloring. Okay. So for the middle section, I think I'm going to try to make brown. So I'm going to get out some additional colors, and I'm going to do rainbow colors because, as anyone knows in art class, when you mix all the colors together, you get muck. So that's what I'm going to try to make. And I'm going to order my colors in the way that they would be on the rainbow. Roy G. Biv, oops. There you go. ROYGBV. And it looks like I have 8 colors here, so I'm going to need to add 2 colors. I might add a pink at the beginning, and then perhaps a dark violet, which would be, nope, that's black. Maybe a dark violet or a dark blue here in the middle. Now I have 8 colors. As many colors as you can mix, but I'm just going to start at one spot. And then add the colors in around in whatever order. You can go this way or you can go this way. I'm going to go this way. And now we're all done. So next we'll cut out. This is the only one that you want to do. Then you can go ahead and cut it out. Otherwise, go ahead and mix your other color spinners. But we're just going to do this one for right now. I'm going to cut around the outside of my circle and cut this little guy out. It doesn't have to be perfect. And if your scissors are sharp enough, you can do the next step with the tips of your scissors. If not, you might have to go find a thumbtack or something like that. Okay, so I'm done cutting out my disc, and I wanted to switch to this because I'm sure you guys are tired of looking at my hands. I want to say that if you only cut out one disc, it won't work very well because it's not heavy enough. So you're going to need to cut out one additional, maybe 2 circles, and glue them to the back. So that's what we'll do now. I've got my paper. I've already cut an extra one out, but I'm going to cut a third one out just so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to cut one of these other ones that I drew, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to cut this guy out, and then I'm going to glue it to the back, and I'm just a white circle. I'm just going to glue it like right here to the back. So I'm going to get my glue stick that's over here, and you don't have to see me do this, but I'm going to take my glue stick, a bunch of glue on it, doobly-doobly-doo, and then glue it to the back of my color wheel. So I've got 3 actually glued together, and that makes this nice and heavy. If you don't do that, it's not going to spin right. Okay, so now you've got it glued. You're going to get your either a pair of sharp scissors or a push pin or a thumbtack, and what you're going to want to do is poke 2 holes in your spinner, and you're going to probably want to poke them, and I already kind of started, I'll show you, about halfway along this inner ring, and I've made a mess of this one, but I'm going to do it again. I'm going to poke, please don't poke yourself, and you can see it's coming through right there. My scissors are pretty sharp. I'm going to use them to poke the hole. If you don't have that, a nail will do. You also need to make sure that you poke, if you poke one hole here, you need to go straight down and poke the other hole straight across. And you're going to thread your string through this hole. So, okay. Now, here's the fun part. This is the string I have. It's just regular yarn. You're going to have to poke it through those holes like you're threading a button. You're going to go in one side and out the other. I'm going to use my scissors. You could use a pencil. But I'm going to just use my scissors, and I'm going to place the yarn kind of on the hole, and then use my scissors to kind of poke it through. You're just going to have to figure it out. See, it's kind of coming out through the back. I'm going to pinch it. So however you can get the yarn to go through, good. Okay, so then you want to thread, it back through the other side. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to kind of lay my yarn over the hole and use my scissors to kind of poke it through to the other side, and you can see it's kind of coming out right there. I'm going to carefully put that. I tore it. That's okay. Just smush it back down. Alright, so this is what you should end up with. You should have a loop on one side and then your tails on the other. You're going to pull your tails till they're almost or to the same length, and then you're going to tie an overhand knot. So if you don't know how to tie an overhand knot, this is how you do it. You take your tails and your finger, drape them over, and then cross, so it kind of looks like an E. See the letter E, or it's backwards E, whatever. Your tails are coming in front and across, and then you're going to pull them up through the back of the loop, and it makes an overhand knot. Oh, that one didn't work very well. Try that again. I missed a string. So I'm going to make it cross like an E, and then I'm going to pull the tails up through and pull. And if you can't figure out how to do this, go ask your mom or your dad. They can figure it out. Okay, now for the fun part. So you've got your string tied. Pull the loop out the back so that your strings are about the same, like that. And then you are going to put your fingers in the loops on either end like this. And I'm right-handed, so I'm going to start by twisting this up. And the easiest way to do it is to just start spinning one arm. And twist it up a lot because you want it to spin really good. Yeah. And then when you decide you're done with that, you pull like a yo-yo. And sometimes you have to let it loose. But if you can see, I have the different colors and I'm pulling and letting go. So my green is very light. Orange is good, purple's great. So if I wanted to make my green a little darker, I might make my blue squares a little bigger. And the brown in the middle didn't work that well, but the purple's really awesome. Isn't that neat? So it's your eye is being tricked into thinking that you are looking at secondary colors. Now I wonder what the backside looks like just for giggles. So this is just my pizza box. So the backside kind of has this red line in the middle. Interesting. I could have drawn a design back there. And you see it's getting all crinkled up. Ooh. But yeah, that's how you make a secondary color spinner. Pretty neat, huh? Alright, why don't you go make some, and then when we meet for our chat, you can show me how you did. Alright, talk to you later. Bye-bye. P.S. Don't let your finger look like that. Ah, it's too much. Let it out. Ah, don't cut the circulation off in your finger. That would be bad. Don't do that.